Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name's SoFlo Sneakers, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the top 5 bots of 2020. And we're going to be doing this for each site. So the top 5 bots for Footsites, the top 5 bots for YeezySupply, etc, etc. And we're really going to be going into depth and examining each bot's performance over the past few months. So if you're interested in learning about what bots have been doing the best, or maybe you're looking to purchase a bot in the future, this is absolutely the video for you. And if you haven't already, make sure to join my free Discord server that is dedicated to helping people succeed with sneaker botting. I'll leave a link down in the description below for that. And like I said, it is 100% free. So on that note, let's get into today's video. The first site we're going to be discussing is Footsites, so Foot Locker, Champs, Foot Action, and East Bay. And just keep in mind, guys, that these rankings are my opinion, and obviously not everyone's opinion is going to be the exact same. So if you think a bot should be higher or lower in the rankings in this video, make sure to drop a comment down below telling me what bot and the reason why you think it should be ranked differently. Coming in at number 5 on the Footsite bot ranking list is going to be Cyber. Cyber has always been super consistent on Footsites, and they've actually been performing pretty well on the most recent drops. The reason why I decided to give Cyber the number 5 ranking is that although they are very consistent, it doesn't seem like their users are able to hit a ton of pairs on drop days, but they are still able to hit a few. Just like many other AIO or all-in-one bots, they still have other sites to focus on, which means putting their development resources into other modules on the bot. They did announce that there would be Footsite improvements in their big 5.0 update, so hopefully we'll be able to see some positive changes there. Coming in at number 4 on the Footsite ranking list is going to be Toru. The current resale of Toru is around 2.2k, and they've been doing super well on Footsites, especially for the price of the bot. Toru originally started out as a Supreme bot, and they recently started expanding onto Footsites, and they've definitely been making a name for themselves as a very consistent Footsite bot. They didn't perform too well on the Satan Snakeskin ones because their server went down and their developer was actually at a dentist appointment, so he couldn't fix it, which is low-key kind of funny. But overall, Toru has been performing very well on Footsites, and that gave them the number 4 ranking on the list. Coming in at the number 3 spot is going to be Wrath. So as many of you guys know, Wrath has been on the absolute come up for the past few months, and it honestly hasn't shown much signs of slowing down. Their developer Jason is only 16 years old, and he has been putting in the absolute work on Wrath, and his efforts have definitely been showing in the past few months. Back in April, you could pick up a copy of Wrath for around $500, but if you go look at the prices now and try to get a copy, you're going to be paying over $4,000. A big reason for this huge price jump is although Wrath has been having unreal success, they also have a very small user base. When a bot has high success and a low user base, their users can easily inflate the price because there's such a limited supply of keys on the market. This is exactly what happened with Wrath, and overall they've been doing very well on Footsites, and I don't think that it's going to slow down anytime soon. Coming in at the number 2 spot is going to be Ganesh. If you haven't heard of Ganesh, you definitely will soon because they have been absolutely eating up Footsites. They work super well on all regions, and after their 3.0 update, they added a ton of new sites like Finish Line, Hibbett, JD Sports, some Mesh, Off-White, and a ton of other ones as well. Also with their 3.0 update, they added a clean new GUI, which is your graphics user interface, and in my opinion, it's definitely a lot easier to get the hang of and use now. I'm sure a ton of you guys were already able to guess what's taking the number 1 Footsite bot on the ranking list, and if you guessed Kodai, you are right. Kodai's recent Footsite success has been unmatched by any other bot on the market. Starting around April of this year, their Footsite module absolutely took off, and if you looked at their Twitter success, you would just see 100 clip after 100 clip after 100 clip, and it's honestly something that I've never seen before. To this day, Kodai has still been slaying Footsites, and although payment verification has been getting in a ton of people's ways, they've still been performing very, very well. There's still a ton of other bots that have been performing well on Footsites, and for this video, we're going to call them honorable mentions. So for the honorable mention list for Footsites, we have Project Destroyer, The Kickstation, Phantom, and NSB. All 4 of these bots have been performing pretty well on Footsites, so it wouldn't be right to just not mention them in the video at all. Now since Footsites are done, let's hop over into the top 5 Shopify bots. Keep in mind that in the past few weeks, Shopify has been pushing a ton of security updates, which has been making it very hard for a ton of bots to adjust and to be able to hit consistently. So for this module, I'm gonna go more based off of past performance. Coming in at number 5 on the Shopify bot ranking list is Sol AIO. So earlier in the year, Sol was definitely having some performance issues, and you could pick up a copy for just a couple $100s. A few months back, they did rewrite the whole entire bot, and ever since then, it's actually been performing very well on Shopify, and it's actually been doing pretty well on some other sites as well. Taking the number 4 spot on the list is going to be PD or Project Destroyer. Just like Sol, their Shopify module wasn't performing very well earlier in the year, and just like Sol, again, they had a complete rewrite of the Shopify module, and ever since then, it seems like it's been very consistent for their users. I always try to keep up to date with how each bot performs after each drop, and ever since their rewrite, I've definitely been seeing a lot more consistent Shopify success coming from PD. At number 3, once again, we have Wrath. One of the biggest reasons that I think Wrath's price shot up so much, besides for their small user base, was how consistent their Shopify module was performing. Wrath came out of nowhere, and right off the bat, they were absolutely competing with the top Shopify bots on the market. Coming in at the number 2 spot on the Shopify ranking list is going to be Cyber. Cyber's consistency with Shopify goes back a long time, and they've constantly proven that they are definitely one of the top Shopify bots on the market. As I mentioned before, they have been a little shaky for the past few weeks, just like a ton of other bots due to Shopify's recent security updates, but they have been pushing Shopify updates for the bot like no tomorrow, and it definitely seems like they're starting to get everything down once again. Coming in at number 1 for the Shopify bot ranking list is going to be Balco. Balco has been at the top of the Shopify game for a long time, and although they did go through a little rough patch earlier this year, they are back and they seem to be better than ever. On the Off-White sale drop, Balco released a Kith bypass which ended up securing them over 95% of the stock, which was absolutely unreal, and they've also been doing super well on restocks as well. So overall, at this moment, I think Balco is the number 1 Shopify bot on the market. For the honorable mention for the Shopify ranking list, we have NSB. NSB's users have been doing pretty well with their Shopify module, so I definitely think that they're worth the honorable mention for the Shopify list. We're making our way to the end, but don't go anywhere yet because these next 2 modules are some of my favorites, and they're honestly pretty slept on when it comes to profitable releases. So moving forward, we're gonna go over the top 5 bots for YeezySupply. Coming in hot at the number 5 spot on the YeezySupply bot ranking list, we have PD. PD has always had a pretty consistent YeezySupply module, and although they have had their hiccups with some releases, they always seem to be able to secure their users at least a couple pairs each drop. Moving on to the number 4 spot for the YeezySupply ranking list, we have Wrath. So like I mentioned before, Wrath is still a newer bot, but their YeezySupply module has been doing super well, and it's definitely been comparable to some of the other bots that are higher on this list. The reason I put them at number 4 is because they are still a newer bot, and some of the other bots higher on this list have been hitting on YeezySupply much more consistently for a longer period of time. Taking the number 3 spot is going to be the one and only Phantom. They've been doing super well on recent YeezySupply drops, and their YeezySupply module allows you to only have to insert 1 Gmail per drop, which is super beneficial for people who don't have a ton of trusted Gmail accounts on hand. They also came out with an advanced mode on the Zion drop, which was basically a V3 bypass that allowed their users to absolutely feast. Coming in at the number 2 spot for the YeezySupply bot ranking list is going to be Splash Force. I really wanted to put Splash Force for the number 1 spot on the YeezySupply list because they've honestly been a very consistent YeezySupply bot for as long as I've been botting. I honestly can't remember the last time that they didn't take stock on a YeezySupply release. On the most recent YeezySupply drop, which was the Zions, the developer of Splash Force implemented a V3 bypass, which allows its users to not have to use any Gmails to get past the splash page. And if you've tried to bot YeezySupply before, you know this is absolutely the hardest part to it. The bypass allowed Splash Force's users to absolutely eat, and I think if it continues in the future, Splash Force can definitely be the number 1 YeezySupply bot on the market. Going off that, the number 1 spot for the YeezySupply bot ranking list is going to go to Polaris. I'm sure a ton of you guys already guessed that, and the reason that I'm putting them number 1 over Splash Force is because they were the first bot to introduce the V3 bypass for their users. Polaris's users have been absolutely feasting for the past few months of YeezySupply drops, but if Splash Force keeps up how they've been doing, they can definitely take Polaris's spot as the king of YeezySupply. Moving on to the 4th and final site we're going to be talking about in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 Supreme bots on the market. Coming in at the number 5 spot on the Supreme bot ranking list is going to be Kodai. Kodai's Supreme module performed very well in the past, and I think they've proved that they are actually a very reliable Supreme bot. I know a few people that were able to cook pretty hard with Kodai's Supreme module, and I honestly think their success is going to carry on into this upcoming season. Taking the number 4 spot is going to be Feather. Feather was definitely struggling earlier on in the last Supreme season, but they pushed an update which allowed their users to actually start feasting once again. Feather has always been a pretty consistent Supreme bot, and besides for the few hiccups earlier in the season, I think they've proven to be a pretty reliable and consistent Supreme bot, and I'm really looking forward to see how they perform in this upcoming season as well. Taking the number 3 spot in the Supreme bot ranking is going to be Cyber. Cyber has done pretty well on Supreme, and I think they're also considered by many as a very reliable Supreme bot. They have had their issues in the past, and the one Supreme bot that I was able to go for with Cyber was the motion logo tease, and they were having a ton of payment errors, so that was a major L for me. But besides for that, I think Cyber has proven to be a very consistent Supreme bot. Coming in at the number 2 spot for Supreme is going to be Velox. I've personally owned Velox, and it was actually my first Supreme bot back in November of last year. This past season, Velox has definitely made a name for themselves as a very reliable Supreme bot, and the developer INEV is always working super hard on pushing updates and making sure that the bot is going to perform to its fullest potential at the time of the drop. Another thing that I liked about INEV is that he's very transparent with his users, and when Velox did flop, he would tell everyone exactly what happened and why it happened, and it would always seem like Velox would bounce back pretty hard on the next drop. Coming in at the number 1 spot for the best Supreme bot on the market is going to be Mech. Mech is an absolute animal of a Supreme bot. For many seasons, they've been consistent, and they've been the number 1 Supreme bot on the market. They really seem to have Supreme figured out, and it's a very rare occasion when Mech doesn't absolutely feast. Mech's price was around $600 about a month ago, but ever since they released the news of Mech AIO, their price has absolutely skyrocketed, and I'm honestly not sure anymore where their price is going to settle. But if they do keep slaying Supreme this upcoming season, it could be at or near its current price point. Some honorable mentions for Supreme are going to be PD and Toru. Both of these bots have done very well in Supreme on the past, and they honestly could have been right up there in the list, but unfortunately there's only 5 spots. I'd really love to hear your guys' opinions on the different top 5 lists, so let me know down in the comment section below, and let's get a little discussion started. I also really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'm sure I'll definitely be pushing an updated version as time goes on. But as always, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And on that note, I'll catch you guys on the next one.